So what is Adobe Premiere Pro? Adobe Premiere Pro is this application. Oh, gee, that's Zoom. So, so it's, why are you asking me? Okay, so this is the application, the Premiere Pro. It's basically the main type of application that you might use for editing
So
videos.
what is Adobe Premiere
Oh,
Pro?
Jesus. Adobe Premiere Pro is this application. Close it. Okay, this one too. So this application will allow you to edit and make videos. Mainly for YouTube, for example, you're gonna use this one. Okay, when you want to create a more quality videos, not like on Canva, for example, you would obviously use Adobe Premiere Pro. It's great for working with very long videos, like 20 minutes, 1 hour videos. Um, and the usage of this application is very wide. People are using them for clips, for music clips, music videos. They're using them for advertisement. They're using them for some films. Okay, maybe not like, first grade films like, I don't know, like Star Wars, obviously. Probably not. I don't think so. But they probably have some other software for that. But almost for us, for social media managers, for digital marketers, this will be enough. Okay, if you're gonna manage, uh, for example, YouTube channel, this is the something that you're gonna have to go through, because with this you will be able to create good videos for YouTube channels, for example. And there are two applications for videos in Adobe. Adobe Premiere Pro, that one that we're going to use today, and After Effects. So After Effects is more about, creating some effects, obviously, like, I don't know, let's just go After Effects here. Um, so you see VFX and motion graphics software. So this is more about something like this. You see, so it's more, it's more like for a type of Unreal type of stuff that doesn't happen but looks good. So, but both After Effects and Premiere Pro are usually working together. Okay, so you created something like this, you might add it to Premiere Pro, and this way you can, you know, add it to your video. So, but for most of the work that you're going to use, Adobe Premiere Pro is the best way to create a video. Any questions? Okay, that's clear. Now, how to start? Obviously, you're gonna have to start new project. So you're gonna click in here, new project, and you can just, click OK. It will be, let's just class 0205. Okay, and we're clicking OK. We're gonna wait. Again, application is not light. It's pretty heavy application. It means that if you have like very slow computer, like old computer or something, it might not run because it's pretty heavy. Especially when you're gonna start creating like very long videos, it's gonna take a while for you to actually create a video, because it just not easy application. And files for the Premiere Pro are also a bit heavy. Like 1 gigabyte file is pretty easily. Okay, so this is the interface of Adobe Premiere Pro, and usually that's the one you're going to be using for almost everything. So by clicking on every tile in here, you're gonna see that it's changing color. It means that this is the active color tile. Now here this one, it's called projectile. So in here you're gonna see first of all your medias that you imported. So for example, I have a video question. Yes, I'm recording this class. Okay, so this, for example, we're going to import some videos today in here, some files, and we're going to see it in here. Okay, so this is the main area where you're going to put all your files, and that's where you're going to see all your videos, all your music, all your sound, pictures if you want to add pictures to your video. So whatever you feel like, this is where you're going to add it. It obviously has some view. I'm going to show it later once we added some. It has bins, it has items, it has effects, for example, gonna be in here. So all this type of stuff we're gonna find in this style, but mostly you would use it for your files. So whatever you put in here, that's what you're gonna put. Now source is directly connected to project tile. So in here you're gonna see source videos, so raw videos, whatever you just put in there, and you didn't edit it, anything. That's where you're gonna see it. Now program is something that you're gonna see the result of what you did. So this is the basically the main space where you're gonna work and where you're gonna see the result. So this is should be always open. That's the main part that you're gonna work. And lastly, timeline. So timeline will show you timeline of your video, audio, and this way you're gonna be able to crop it in here, add effects, add whatever you feel like. And lastly, in here, it's changeable. So in here, essential graphics, you can add effects, for example, is going to go in here. So basically, it's kind of duplicating this one. But for your usage, for example, if you want to add, I don't know, color corrections, for example, that's where you're going to go. Okay. So any questions on this? No questions. Okay. So let's start our project. So I'm obviously it's not going to be some project that we're going to post on YouTube or something, but it just I'm going to show you functionality, how it works. So I have some videos which we're going to put in here, and you're going to see how we can edit it. So let's connect this one. So how can you put in here? You can just drop it, and it's going to import all your medias in here, or you can go to File and there will be import. So this, and you can actually choose what you want to import. Okay, so that's it. All right, so once we have our first videos in here, we can already start, making it basically. So first thing, you're gonna take one video and you're gonna drop it in here. You're gonna create a sequence. Okay, so we have a first sequence. So you see window changed a bit. So first part, the upper part is your video. It's actually video, okay? It's without sound. It doesn't have any video. And the lower part will be your audio. So audio can be moved, can be added more audios. So for example, you have a video, but you also want to add some music on the top of that. You're gonna add music, and it's gonna be like below, but it's going to be in the background. And obviously, you can lower down volume, all of that stuff. Now, about this window, you're going to be using this a lot. You can minimize it. You see, you can see it's more like expanded or more like more detailed for this particular sequence. So by seconds, for example, you can go by tenths of seconds. So this part can be expanded by in my case it's touchpad, but you can also use plus and minus on your keyboard, or you can use this weird thing. So you're moving this, you see it's moving a bit your sequence, and you can see what's going on. Now, the very first thing that you're gonna need to do in here is to cut your videos. Okay, so almost always you're gonna have like very long videos, and you're gonna have to cut them to make make sense out of it. How are you gonna do this? There are two ways. The first way will be you see I'm putting just mouse in there, and I can move it. So I'm moving it this way, I can move it this way, for example, and this way it's the video itself is gonna start on 0 and it's going to be just black until it goes to this particular second. So we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna bring it back. And remember, whenever you cut in it, it never goes anywhere. So if I'm gonna do this, you see, it came back just like that. So don't worry if you cut it somehow, shorter than you wanted. It's still gonna be there. Nothing goes away from Adobe Premiere Pro. It's always staying there. That's why probably application is so heavy. So there is another way how you can cut it. You can, so for example, here's our video. There is a razor tool. So razor tool works this way. So you just select in particular um, time time of your video. You click in here, and you see it divided video by 2. So now you can even move it like this. So now you have 2 separate videos, or you can just delete it by clicking delete, and that's it. It's deleted. So any questions on how to cut video? No questions. Okay. So yeah, this is pretty straightforward, and this is something that you're going to use most of the time, how to cut videos. And now on top, you see this is our project basically video. So we can click in here. We're going to see some video. We're going to see the audio in here moving. It means that audio is in here. So here we go. We cutted this particular part of the video, and now we can add more. Or you can add just multiple of them and start cutting them after that, after you actually added all of them. So it's all depends on how you feel in doing it. So here's, for example, video. Now this thing is playing, is basically what's playing right now. So you're gonna have to move it a lot to make sure that it's showing what you're playing right now. And as you see right now, it's going to be a black part like this, and it's just going to be nothing in here. So remember about this. So how to get rid of this black part? Obviously, you just are gonna put it back to the previous video, or you can just click on the black part in here and just click delete, and it's gonna move the next part to the previous one, the same way in here. So any questions, guys, on this? Okay, no questions. That's funny. All right. So that's how you're using a cutting tool. So cutting tool, you're going to use it a lot because if you're going to be managing, for example, YouTube channel, most of the time they will be sending you like a raw video, and there will be just a lot of everything really. So 10-minute video could be recorded for like 1 hour, and that a lot of parts you will have to cut them. You will have to cut them off, so video looks really good. So in our case, it's pre-made video of someone who I found on the internet. So I'm just taking it to show you how actually uses. But false for example, people are starting to talk on YouTube, and they are just like, they couldn't say something, and they're like, oh, I have to redo. So they're not starting camera all over again. They're just, keeping recording, and then they are cutting it afterwards in one of the applications like this. So cutting will be a lot. You will be cutting a lot. In this case, this is good. Now, so that was cutting. Now let's do some effects. Now you see we have different shots, and we want to make them look different. So most of the time for YouTube, you're not going to use any. So it's just going to be like this. You see? One shot, and then goes another one. Let's hurry up. The same in here. one shot, and then it goes another one. So there are a lot of effects that you can first of all download and then add it to your video. But you also most of the time people are using the same effects. So how are you gonna find effects? First of all, well, I'm here already, and I can select in here, or you can just go to this page, and in here you're gonna find effects. So right now it's okay. So we're gonna select effects, and there are several effects. So, for example, um, telemetry presence, audio transition effects. So this is the one that we want. Video transitions. So we're gonna go with transitions. So for example, cross dissolve is and additive dissolve is going to be someone that most of the people using. How we're gonna do it? We're gonna select part of our video. So for example, here is uh, here is this part. Where is that thing? Do you see? Right now it just changes from one shot to another, just like that. That's something you're gonna still use a lot. So not always you're gonna use those transition effects, but if you want, you can do it. So you're gonna click in here, and you're gonna put it somewhere in between both of this. So you see here is the cross dissolve effect. So you can also put it. Why doesn't allow me? So you can expand it if you want to, or you can make it to shots. So how it's gonna be like? So now the effect was added, and you can do whatever you want with it. There is another effect, for example, deep dissolve. Insufficient. Okay. To black. So this is transition effects. So there are a lot of them actually. Something that you wouldn't use, I wanna say it's prohibited, is page fill. So for example, I'm gonna explain to you why. So I think you understand why you wouldn't use it. So don't use it because it's a bad taste, I think personally. But maybe you creating some very specific video, you might use it. But okay. So mostly people are using cross dissolve, deep to black or white. So one of this is the most usable ones. Okay. Um, how to understand what transition you want to use? Watch films. Just whenever you watching your TV shows or whatever you feel like. Just you know check what they're using, because most of the times they're using either neither or one of this cross dissolve or something like that. uh, it's not something very like cool, or I don't know, it's just basic dissolve. So that's what most people will be using. So remember to, whenever you're watching TV shows, just make sure that you're paying attention on that. This way, you're gonna understand when to add a particular dissolve or transition dissolve. Okay, so remember about that. Any questions, guys? The effects only are used between videos, or it can be used in the middle. It can. So here, these effects you can actually use them. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna actually work. Well, it's transition. Yeah, I realized it's transition. So transition, Freddie, is basically between shots. But there are other effects that you can add, and this way you might add some effects in between. For example, what we're gonna do, we're going to be adding text in between. It's going to be the last thing that we're going to do. We're going to add text, and I'm going to show you how it basically works with those effects. Any other questions? Guys, don't. Okay. Okay, no questions. All right, so that was how we cut in the video and how we doing transitions. So this is pretty simple, and this is something that I would say 70% of your time you're going to be doing, this basically. Now, um, some videos they're obviously shot, and nowadays cameras are pretty good, but sometimes you still need to um, improve the quality of the image. So for example, I don't know, it's too bright or it's too dark, and you need to make sure that it's just looking right. So here's the page called Lumetri Color. You can also find it in window here, Lumetri Color, and it's going to appear in here. So this is the page that you also going to use for color correction. Okay, so you saw that window. Premiere Pro is actually auto-saving your project all the time. So if something happens, you just not losing it, because again, application is getting pretty heavy most of the time, and some computers are just failing to work, and they are just turning off, for example. This way they did that, and this helps a lot. Okay, color correction. So color correction is something that you're gonna use also a lot because of the lightning, all this type of stuff. You wanna correct it a bit. So again, going to window, going to Lumetri Color, and here you're gonna see this part. So for you, you're gonna use mostly one of this, or you can just use auto. So auto works pretty good almost all the time. And it only gonna use if it only gonna works if you selected particular sequence. So for example, I'm gonna click in here, I'm gonna move video in here. You see, it didn't do anything to it. We can click in here, auto, and it's gonna edit it again. Okay, Vivian. Okay, so this is how you do color correction. So you can do it auto, which you mostly you're gonna use most of the times, but you can also use it in here. So how you're gonna use it? You're just gonna click on black, for example, and you're gonna start moving it here and there until you like it. Okay, so don't just try to put it like -5 or -2. Like uh, it's like changing the conditioner AC temperature by 1 degree. Doesn't make any sense a lot. So just move it like just move it like this and see what you like. For example, complete black in here, I like it quite a lot. But let's just go with -38. The same goes with whites, you see. So I think we need to make it less white because it's too bright. Shadows. See, like this. Highlights. This video is pretty bright, so we actually want to make it a bit less bright. Contrast. So contrast, usually people are doing a bit, higher because it's cool. It looks nice. Exposure. You see, we can leave it as it is. It's pretty good. And that's it. You change it to this particular sequence only, okay? So in the next sequence, you're gonna have to, do it again, basically. Saturation, something is pretty important. Saturation is basically making, it's more colorful, more gray. So if you're gonna put to 0 saturation, it's going to be black and white. And if you're gonna move it to 200, it's going to be like, like someone stayed on the sun too much. So saturation, don't go crazy with this. Always keep it around 100, 105, 106. Usually people are adding a bit always, but don't go crazy because it's like, it's weird. Any questions on this? No questions. Okay. Lastly, last thing that you're going to use in here is tint and temperature. So tint, I don't know when you're going to use it, honestly, but it's basically green and pink. So more pink, more green. Usually people are not using it. Usually people are going to use temperature. So to make it more colder, like this. So I know lots of TV shows are like this. They're just making it look super cool, like cold and stuff like that. So that's basically how they're doing it. But also you can do it warm. For example, in Hollywood video, American movies, always there is like a border between San Diego, like California, San Diego, and Tijuana, Mexico. Like the moment people are crossing the border, it's getting like this. It's always like that. So, for example, if you want to make Mexico in American movies, always go by 100. It's gonna make movie like this. It means it's Mexico. It's always like that. I don't know why. So, any questions on color correction? Okay, no questions. Now we're gonna move to audio. So in here, so as I said before, there is like video part and audio part on below. So in here, we can expand it a bit, and we're gonna see this, movable things like this. Usually, this way you're gonna see when people are talking. So for example, if you have a YouTube video of a person talking, you're gonna see that it's empty. It doesn't anything happens. Like in here, for example, not much. It means that nobody is talking. You can cut it. Or if you see like big spikes, it means that someone is talking. This way, you're gonna understand, where to cut it by just looking at audio. Most of the time, it's gonna work well for you. Now, audio sometimes also can be lower on the volume and higher on the volume. Okay, and you want to change that too. So let's just find here's our sequence. We're gonna use it. So you see in here, like it's like very little audio on this video. And what we want to do, we want to rise it up. So in here, you're gonna see a little line, like you can see it in here. And that line, you can move it upper or lower. This way, you're gonna. So usually it's in the middle like this. It means that it's normal. But if you want to make sure that your audio is, more loud or more soft, you can move it upper on or lower. So in here, because we have very, low soft audio, we can put it up and just test it. You see, you can hear it now. And now you can't. So that's basically the way you're gonna use this part. And you can also add, obviously, in here your music. So we have our videos, right? It has some audio. It has an audio of, a city or something. You see, it's some audio. It's pretty boring. So how we're gonna do this? We're just gonna find ourselves an audio, whatever you feel like. So for example, I don't know, some music, and we're gonna put it in here below. Okay. Now we're gonna play the video. Gonna start playing it with some song. Okay, so this is clear, and obviously you can make it lower the volume. I mean, a bit lower or higher, depending on what type of result you want to get, basically. So that's how audio works. Any questions, guys?
Yeah, Andre, I have a question.
Can you please speak up? I barely can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Barely, Rosie.
Okay, just a minute.
Hmm.
Now, can you hear me?
No.
Oh, sorry. How about now?
You can talk. I think I can hear you.
Okay, do you remember that you introduced us a website that we could find like stock photos and videos, like Pixel? I was thinking, is there something similar for music because of the like copyright problems that we want to use in our photos, our videos?
Well, music you can buy it, obviously. That's something you can do, but I honestly never Google it. Let's say music without copyright.
I actually have a great tip for that. You
All
can
right.
actually go to YouTube and
Yeah,
you
there's a
say,
playlist.
sorry?
In YouTube, there is a playlist. If you type YouTube music, it gives you a playlist with the that doesn't break any copyright bounds or anything, and you can
Right, you can even search for like specific. Let's say you want to do an educational video, you would go to YouTube and you would write down educational music free copyright, and you can just download them as an MP3, and then you can use them as well.
I think this is the channel as well.
Right.
Audio Libre music,
Yeah.
music for content creators. So
There are
yeah,
lots out there actually.
you see, they've obviously given you some like rules, like you must include full credits and stuff like that. So remember about this, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, guys? Okay, no preguntas. Bueno, so there was audio again. In here, you can put it upper and downer, and you see it also adds to the whole clip. Like we're gonna go. It's still in there. So the same way as you did with the video, you can cut it in here, for example, and you can cut the whole song, for example, or you can just like cut it and in here, and then once you for example, one part you're not doing anything, you're not talking, not you, but maybe whoever will be your client or you can make music only that part is louder or lower on the volume. So for example, you can emphasize that you are talking right now and music is very background, it's not the main thing. Okay, so there is a lot you can do with this thing. So any other questions on audio for Adobe Premiere Pro? Okay, lastly, what we're going to use is type tool. So type tool is basically for you to add certain annotations on your videos. So for example, let's go to BBC. So for example, you see okay, we got it. I should have.
Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Charlie State and Naga Monchetti.
Our headlines today.
So you see this one, hotel quarantine.
For anyone returning to the
Confirmation of arrival.
All of this type of stuff.
which emerged in South Africa.
That's also added in Adobe Premiere Pro. Obviously, they're spending more time on this because they're adding like a little effects and their own fonts, all this type of stuff. So, and you can do that. Just saying. But in our case, because for simplicity, we're just gonna make it pretty simple. We're just gonna add text. So you basically what you're doing, you're clicking on this type tool, and then you click in anywhere on your video, and now you can video class, for example. So now you see here is this annotation, and it's going to be in here. It appeared on our sequence, on our bench, and we're gonna see that we can move it first. For example, let's not move it to the very beginning. Here we go. So it's in here. We can expand it so it appeared on our screens a lot longer. For example, like this. And you obviously can edit it, okay? You can add, for example, different fonts, different different, really anything. So this is something that you might use a lot. And you also can add effects in here. So I mean, transitions, for example, you want to, make it disappear somehow. So we're going to go to the same dissolve transition. We're going to go, let's say dissolve. Yeah, why does it want to paste? I don't like this video. Okay, here we go. You see it appeared now, not just constantly, not just like, just like hello. No, it appeared with some kind of respect. And we can see, we can add it in here, for example. And dissolve the same way. Obviously, all this type of stuff, you can move it and you can make it like this, for example, if you want to dissolve a lot longer. Okay, so there is a lot of things that you can do with this one. And yeah, so that's basically, okay, again, that's basically very basics of how to use Adobe Premiere Pro. And honestly, if you're gonna sit in this application for like, let's say 2-3 hours, you're gonna know enough to create good quality YouTube video. Almost all the YouTube videos that you can see are from regular creators. They're going to be created in here. Any questions, guys? Okay, so lastly, what I want to show you, the very last thing that we're going to talk about today about Adobe Premiere Pro is this one. So in here, you can see there is like 1/4, one half of it, or full. So that's basically shows you the quality of video that you are seeing right now. So for example, we have this video. It's full quality. Now, if you're gonna put half of it, you're gonna lower down the quality a bit, and lastly 1/4 will be even worse. It's going to be like, you see, it got a bit more blurry. This is something you're gonna use a lot. Why? Because again, even on very good computers, Adobe Premiere Pro is not working very well. It just, it's just very heavy application. So to make your video less heavy for you to edit, you're gonna select one of this, 1/4 or one or half or full. So full is like the complete, like full quality of the video. It's very heavy. It just might run your computer into trouble. So you're gonna use 1/4 or 1/2. Note that it doesn't matter what you choosing in here. Once you're done with your video, once you export it to your computer, the whole project, the result of what you did, you're going to be always having full quality. So it doesn't matter what you choose in here. It's more like for you to see and work with this comfortably without having pain in your what. So that's why you're using it. And source. So source, we're gonna put in here. So source is basically for you to see how it was before. So this is what it looks before you added it, and this is what it looks after you added it. So in here, as you see, the whole video, this is what you're gonna get once you export it. So once you export it, this is what you're gonna get, and this is what you can put on your YouTube, for example, or whatever platform you're gonna use. Okay, so that was it. Any questions, guys? When you save your video, is better to save it in MOV or MPG, or what is the best type? So doesn't really matter, whatever you feel like. You just click in export. Save, I'm sorry. you're saving the project. I'm just saving it, and when you export it, doesn't matter what type of um, file you want to put it. It can be even MP4 if you want, but I would say MOV is good, MPG is good, but you can just save it the way you feel like it's saving, and that's it. It's going to be completely fine with you.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So these videos are specifically for YouTube, or can we use it for Instagram and Facebook?
Yeah, you can use it for Instagram, for Facebook, for whatever. It just, it's professional way to do videos. I'm pretty sure when you're doing on Canva, you see the transitions are not that good. Plus options are very low. It's the same way as Photoshop. You can do some videos on Canva, but if you have an idea, if you want to create like a really good video, you're gonna go to Photoshop or Premiere Pro just to make sure that everything is looking perfectly. Okay.
Are there sizing options? Because when I did my video yesterday for Instagram, like it wouldn't fit properly, so I had to scale it properly again. So is there something like that for this app as well, or no?
Yeah, in the beginning you can select what size of video, but usually it's going to be Full HD in here, 1920 by 1080. Okay, but you can obviously select it, or you can even put it in Canva afterwards, for example.
Okay.
For simplicity, and just cut it in there just to make sure that you are adding it to the correct. Just easier on Canva with this type of stuff. You don't need to know any dimensions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions, guys? Okay, that's funny. You don't have any questions. But anyways, once you click export, you can just go with the same amount of, with the same settings that they're provided to you. Usually it's perfect for YouTube again, 1080p basically. And then you're just gonna click export, and that's it. It's just gonna save it the same way. And in here you obviously can see what you did. Okay, guys. So again, Adobe Premiere Pro, there is a trial for a few days. So yeah, Rosie, you can read the chat. Rosie messaged you like a big requirements for Instagram. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's basically the numbers that you can export with your video for the Instagram.
Thank you, Rosie. So again, this is something I would recommend you, all of you, really, like all of you, try to get your, if you have Windows, what